and gentlemen, the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On with the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my shop. My name is Keith and I'm your host. Today we're going to actually catch up on a video that I've been wanting and waiting for the right time to give you a little do-it-yourself grinding on wheel cutters. Alright, so today I'm going to walk the talk on how I'm going to put the radius needed on the edge of the corners or the outside edge of this wheel cutter so that it matches what I've been using. I use wheel cutters to mill the keyway slots in marine shafting, and this will probably be my third 3/8 width. That means it works on an 1.5 inch shaft. Every shaft has got a standard width of cutter, and I have a wall full up there. And so I hand radius and hand dress my cutters occasionally when needed. And this will be my third one since '94. Meaning I started doing shafting here on the Cape and buying my own wheel cutters. I bought my first set of wheel cutters to do the job in '94, and I'm on my third wheel cutter. And that's only, the first one went real fast. I was really heavy into shafting when boats in the economy were popular in that direction, and now things have changed around and it's fewer and far between, and they last a little bit longer only because you're not using them as much. Anyway, regardless of that, getting sidetracked here. Let's this is the cutter that I'm going to be replacing. It does have a few chips on it, and it really, I've touched the radius on this, and I've touched the bottom or the outside cutting surface of this wheel. And after a certain length of time, you start really losing your sides. And it's not worth the finish that you get on the cut. The accuracy of that keyway is a very important part of the job. Luckily, I'm turning in some really hard material, and it doesn't tend to overcut. It always tends to undercut. So what we're doing is we're starting to get really tight keyways, and I want to get back out to having a better fit key. Okay, so that's why I'm changing this up. Now, I have used this in already. This is a used cutter. I purchased this probably 8 months ago. I had a job where I actually had to put a square bottom groove and shape into the project I was working on. But I have it on hand, and I'm ready to do this. So let's see. One of the first things, in fact, I just brought them out here, radius gauges here. And I know because I go by the drawings and in the Aquamet standards by Western Branch and their diagrams. And I also just pulled it out and I confirmed that we are working 1/16 radius on the outside. So I have the radius gauge. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll take these pair of cutters and we're going to go into my grinder station, and I'm going to set up, dress the wheel, and then show you how I set up and hand grind the radiuses and give you kind of a heads up of how I do the outside edge when that's needed. Alright, so let's head on in there. We're on the wooden floor with a piece of sheet metal over the top of it, and you're on a stool there, so it might be shaky once in a while if I happen to move my foot around. All right, this is looking at the bottom of a diamond nib setup for little tables here, and this bar right here rides into these slots that are on the tilt table. And then here's the diamond nib sticking out of a bore, and there's a screw here that holds it on the side. And I just use my fingers here. These never need to be wrenched tight. And this is a standard screw right here that lets you push in on the end of your diamond nib, and then this kind of holds the tension on there. The force is always back against your diamond nib, so there's not too much of an issue of it being drawn out. Watch, this would be the first time I ever see the thing fly out of here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this on, and we're going to bring over some light here. Let's see if that's good for you. Okay, it might be good for you. All right, I'm going to take my finger and I'm just going to slowly adjust this in, and I just started making contact. I'm dressing this side of the wheel. We're going to use the other wheel on the other side, but I've already dressed it, and I kind of wanted to go through how I actually dress my wheels. And I'm hogging off a big amount. I've played around with the edge of this wheel. I had a important radius I had to put on a part. I'm not going to try to take it all the way off of there today, but I'm going to just go back a couple times here. Okay, there we go. Okay, and that's got a clean dress on that face. If I really needed to have a sharp edge on that corner again, I would go ahead, and I don't have no need to dress the outside. I don't grind out there. We've kind of already leveled this table out to what we want here, and I'm going to explain why it's at this angle, which is just a slight angle. We want to pick this is going to be the tooth we're going to work on. So we've got to address that to the wheel and duplicate the factory grind angle on the back side, the relief side. All right, and we want to locate it off of 2 teeth here on the bottom so that we can set flush and repeat. You want to repeat there, repeat there, repeat there, each tooth as you go around. All right. So once we picked out the 2 teeth we wanted to, we rocked this table till we matched that angle is what we did. We've already dressed this wheel just like we showed you dressing the other one. Okay, how are we going to hold this thing from tipping side to side and controlling with a little finesse? Well, we just happen to have a little 1x block here, and once we've got that set on those 2 teeth there, it kind of sets by itself. We can squeeze it and we can hold it that way there, and then you got control this way on your cutter by hand. Very comfortable, and you can keep uniform pressure on it. Okay, now sometimes sliding this around, you can see that wants to fall down in this slot, so you can take just any sheet of material here and get it in there close and get it clamped down like that. Now you're not fighting that issue. Okay, so now we're free to go ahead and work the cutter that way. All right, now we're going to work 1 tooth at a time. We're going to go around on one side and then work the teeth on the other side one at a time. Now the radius you're going to have on your part as it finishes is going to be a combination of each tooth coming around, taking whatever this radius is that you put on here. If you have them all nicely done and you have one a little tight, that one that's a little tight is going to be taking the final shape cut, meaning it'll take most of the load. If you sharpened or radiused all of these and you didn't sharpen or radius one, you would have a square cut in there, and that tooth is going to take the brunt every time it comes around, and you're not going to get the shape that you want that you put on all the other teeth. So make sure you do all the teeth all the way around. Okay, now once we start grinding on that tooth, we've got our standby here, radius gauge, and we'll put it up there and judge our radius, and then be happy with it, and then go to the next one. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll fire this up, and I'm going to start on this outside edge here because it's going to be more camera friendly for you. Here we go. We're going to fire this up. Okay, we're going to pick those 2 teeth right there. And let me get might have to change that clamp. It doesn't take much because you're just working a little tiny bit here. Alright, one thing nice, this backdrop right there is a nice color combination so that I could visually see this radius in there. And that's almost That's almost done. Okay, one down. Go to the next. Once you grind one and you see one pretty well shaped out, you get pretty comfortable with it. Okay, all the way around on that side, and then of course you double check them. Okay, now we're going to be going for the other side. And of course it's going to be hindering on the camera for you probably. I think I'm going to slide my plate. Okay, we've gone all the way around. That one looks a little sharp. Not bad. Okay, I wasn't as coordinated on the second side, but I'm happy with all of my grinds, and they look good. Okay. We're real happy with that grind, and we can retire that cutter now, and we can set this one up here, and we'll get the rest of our arbor up here and our support and our shaft set up in the right position, and we'll see how she performs. I'm going to center up the cutter on here now. We're at our lowest speed that we're going to go. Okay, I'm just going back and forth until I put a flat, the width of our cutter, which is 3/8, so I'm shooting for a 3/8 flat across here. About a 5/16 one right now. Looks pretty close. Okay, then I eyeball it down the side with a real bright light on the other side so I can see the edge of the cutter when it's not a blur, and the cut. I'm still a little narrow, so I'm just adding a little bit more, going back and forth. Alright, there we go. Okay, that's set 0 as far as our depth right there, and we're 0 as far as in and out. And we're going to lock that. Now we're going to come outside. We're going to go to our depth. We're going to turn on our nasty coolant because I haven't changed it in a while. And okay, our depth is going to be 195. So there's 125 and 70, 195 there. All right, you can see we run the shaft off the end here. We've got a couple 4x4s. We use our drill press to actually support it off and on. Now that we're at the right height, we want to go ahead and just raise this up, just so we're not overhanging the material for the whole length of this cut. And if I'm supporting it, we have less stress on this table, so then the table moves more uniform. Okay, I think we're good to go. On with the nasty coolant. In fact, actually, I'm going to have to bend my hose here because we're in the way of the handle. Okay, see how bad this stuff looks. Oh, it looks like crap. Okay, we will have to change that out. That's pretty nasty. It's going to do the job right now, though. All right. Here we go. It really sounds pretty uniform. All right, let's get the vacuum. We'll suck that out. Alright, nice, beautiful radius. Okay, I slid it out here in front so that you get a good eyeball in there. Nice and sharp along this edge, not a big burr raised up here, because as it's coming through it's lifting up on the cut all the way, so that's usually when it starts getting dull. You really start getting a raise up on here. This is really kind of minimal on here. Nice radius down on the bottom, nice kind of smooth, shiny surface. Good quality keyway. That's what we're looking for. We're done with this one, so we're going to get it ready for the next step, and we're going to grab the next one to go in here, which was in the lathe. There we go. Okay, and we located in that slot, and we didn't move the mill, so we don't even have to adjust the height. This cutter is ready to rock and roll right now. All right. I hope that was enough tip on sharpening wheel cutters, dressing the radius on the outside edge. We'll get into dressing that bottom flat side some other time. Till next time, get her done. Okay, we got a couple Patriot Attitudes in the oven right now. So we're going to put a nice golden brown on the complete project. We got two of them, so we're going to give it a golden brown, and then after it comes out, then we're going to give our secondary coloring to accent the flag and the eagle itself, and then we're going to clear coat these.